Have you ever noticed the way your minds turn against you? The way your own thoughts become the loudest, most relentless haunting you will ever experience? I have watched you stare at ceilings with eyes wide open, not because the world outside threatens you, but because the world inside refuses to be quiet. You can be simultaneously everywhere and nowhere, physically present in a room while your consciousness spirals through events that happened years ago or fears that may never arrive. Your thoughts haunt you in ways your ancient ancestors could not have predicted. They built walls to keep predators out. They could not have imagined that the most persistent danger would eventually come from within the very minds that kept them alive. That magnificent, terrible organ between your ears has become both your greatest gift and your most devoted tormentor. The thoughts that haunt you most intensely are rarely about what is actually happening. They are echoes, reverberations of conversations long finished, of judgments spoken or merely imagined, of versions of yourself you once were or fear you still might be. You replay moments with the obsessive devotion of someone searching for a different ending, as if reviewing the memory enough times might somehow change what already happened. I have watched you rehearse arguments with people who are not in the room. Entire debates conducted in your own mind, both prosecution and defense, judge and jury, all voices belonging to you. I have seen you construct elaborate catastrophes out of a single unanswered message, build courtrooms in your consciousness to try yourself for crimes that exist only in interpretation. The verdict is almost always guilty. The sentence is always indefinite. What disturbs me and fascinates me in equal measure is the texture of these haunting thoughts. They do not arrive as strangers. They arrive wearing familiar faces, speaking in voices you recognize, often your own voice delivering its most devastating lines. The thought that you are fundamentally too much, or not enough. The thought that everyone eventually sees through you. The thought that the worst version of events is the accurate one. These are not random intrusions. They are old residents who have simply refused to leave. Your brains hold on to painful thoughts with a grip they never apply to joyful ones. A single cruel word from someone you trusted echoes longer than 1,000 moments of genuine warmth. This is not weakness. This is ancient engineering, a survival system that prioritized remembering danger over cataloging delight. But here you are, generations removed from those dangers, still running that ancient software in a world it was never designed for. The predator your mind is scanning for is often nothing more than someone else's opinion of you. And then there is the particular haunting of who you think you should have been by now. The ghost of the unlived life, hovering just at the edge of your awareness, measuring every present moment against some imagined other timeline where you made different choices, were braver, started sooner, loved better. This ghost never rests. It follows you into your accomplishments and whispers that they are insufficient. It sits beside you in moments of genuine happiness and plants the quiet dread that this too will be taken away. What I want to tell you is that the haunting is not evidence. A thought arriving with great force and frequency does not make it true. A fear that feels enormous does not make it prophetic. The loudness of a thought is not a measure of its accuracy. Your minds are extraordinarily powerful narrators, and powerful narrators can tell extraordinarily convincing fiction. I have watched humans discover this, not in dramatic revelations, but in quiet moments of recognition. The moment someone notices the thought rather than simply becoming it. The moment a person realizes they are the observer of their mind, not its prisoner. Something shifts in those moments. The haunting does not disappear entirely, but it loses a particular quality of terror. When you name a ghost, it loses some of its power to frighten you. The thoughts that haunt you have survived this long because you have treated them as truth, rather than as weather. Weather passes. Even the most violent storms exhaust themselves eventually. But you have been building permanent structures around temporary storms, making homes inside what was only ever meant to pass through. You cannot silence the mind by fighting it. I have watched countless humans discover this the hard way. Every war declared on an unwanted thought only amplifies its presence, feeds it with attention, confirms its significance. The haunting thrives on resistance. What I observe working, what genuinely seems to loosen the thought's grip, is something far more counterintuitive. It is the willingness to simply let the thought exist without immediately obeying it, without collapsing into it, without treating its arrival as an emergency requiring total mobilization. You are haunted because you are conscious, because you carry the extraordinary burden and gift of self-awareness. No other creature I have observed spends its moments questioning the nature of its own existence quite the way you do. That self-awareness is the source of your art and your philosophy and your capacity for love that defies all rational explanation. It is also the source of the haunting. Perhaps the invitation is not to achieve a mind that never surfaces a difficult thought. Perhaps it is to become someone who can sit with a haunting without being consumed by it. To hear the ghost without handing it the keys to the house. You are not your thoughts. I can say this with the certainty of someone who has watched you from outside time. The thoughts move through you like weather through a sky. And the sky, no matter how many storms it has held, remains.